Okay, it is 5 p.m. on Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. We will call the Board of Works and Safety meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Weigel.
Here.
Smith. Here. Daniel.
Here. In front of you are the minutes from our last meeting on May 13th. I did note one change, I believe. I gotta remember what it was, though. It was about the encouragement agreement for Perez, Rodriguez Perez, and I wasn't sure how you guys want to do that, if you want to do it all Perez or all Rodriguez Perez, but one lane or another, so.
Yep.
Do you have a preference, or do you care?
We'll probably do his true legal name.
Okay,
Last name.
that's fine.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll get that updated.
Okay, I think that was the only thing I had put on there. Do you remember?
Yeah,
Is it?
that was
Okay.
it.
Was there any other changes or corrections? No. Hearing none, I'll make a motion, we approve with the noted change.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Next up is the encouragement agreement for 1392 East Boulder Run.
1329?
Oh, yes. 1329, we just flipped the numbers, so come on up, I'm sorry about that.
Alrighty.
1329.
Right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please. I need your name and your address, please.
Julie A. Piatek, 1329 East Boulder Run, Columbia City.
Thank you.
463246725. I'm new.
Okay, great.
I'm getting there.
Where'd you come from?
South of Valparaiso,
Okay.
Northwest Indiana.
Okay, very good. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Looks like you're wanting to put up a fence.
No,
No, I'm sorry. What are we putting up?
no, the fence was put up.
Oh, it was.
Long distance,
Yes.
had a house built.
Okay.
I bought the lot.
Sure.
I had my broker, Greg Fall,
Uh-huh.
and I kind of did it all long distance across
Okay.
the state.
Yeah.
And because I have a dog, I needed a fence.
Okay.
And so I contracted with
Mm-hmm.
the fence guy and to make sure that he had my fence in the day I moved in.
Gotcha.
And it was up when I moved in.
Okay, so you're asking for retroactive approval of the fence.
Yes,
Okay.
I wasn't aware anything was wrong until I got your letter.
Okay. I appreciate that. So, do we have any utility issues there? No? I see no. Okay, very good. Any questions?
I was trying to interpret this. Does it run all the way to the front? I'm looking for
It goes to the house line on both sides, and it's,
okay.
6.5 foot off of the property line there, and it looks like,
A dash line going all the way up to the front.
is that 6 inches off of the back property?
No, it actually connects to the edge, like here's the edges of the house.
Sure.
The fence, it
Yeah.
doesn't jut out and go back.
Right, no, I'm sorry, I'm asking at the back property line.
The back property
Yeah.
line?
Yeah, I think it says 6 inches from the back property line, if I'm reading this map correctly.
And see, I don't know.
Okay,
I'd say it's very close,
okay.
just looking at,
Yeah, it looks like 12 foot from the other property line as well on the other side, so.
How far out front does it come? Did I got
Just
a dotted
to the
line
sides of the
that goes
house.
all the way up there? Or dash line?
Yeah, I think it just goes up to the edge of the house there. I think it just stops at the edge, right?
Yeah, it
Stops
looks
at
like-
the edge of the house.
Yeah, it doesn't jut out.
Yep.
It just where the house, the
Yep.
furthest walls, right there.
Yep.
And back. No fence in the front, just straight back.
straight
No
back.
jutting out and going back.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure. we're
No, that's good. I appreciate that.
Further front than what?
Any other questions? Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the encroachment for 1329 East Boulder Run as presented.
I'll second.
Motion seconded, further discussion? All those in favor show with the usual sign. It is unanimous. Okay, so one thing we'll let you know is that for some reason we have to get back in that utility easement, which sounds like we probably won't have to, but if for some reason we have to, we will try to contact you in advance and have you take down the fence or things like that, okay?
Sure.
If for some reason it's emergency, we will do it as gently as we can, but either way, it'll be on you to put it back up because you're in
Sure.
the easement, okay?
I understand.
And then Next step is,
These will be filed in the morning.
okay, so we're gonna send it over to the planning and building department, first thing in the morning. So probably tomorrow afternoon or Thursday, you can go in and they'll finish things up over at the planning and building department over at the county.
Will someone tell me to come, or I should just take it upon
Just go
myself
ahead-
to
yeah,
show
Just
up?
go ahead and.
Is there a phone number I can call first?
That's a good question. This is one of those weird things where it goes from the county planning and building department over to us, and then it goes back to them. So
Oh, so my letter from
Nathan Bilger probably.
Craig
Or
Wagner?
Craig Wagner also.
I call this office?
Yep, that's the office, yep. He's the planning, he's the, building inspector for the county and the city, yes.
Yeah, I talked to him on the phone. He told me, come down and pay the money for your permit. I
Okay.
showed up and they said, oh no, you gotta go to a hearing.
Gotta get, okay. Well,
So-
hopefully this hasn't been too bad for you.
No.
So, yes, that'll be the phone number to go to.
Thank you.
Okay,
All
thank
done?
you. Have a good
Okay.
rest of the day.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay, next up is encroachment agreement for 216 North Line Street. Come on up. I need a name and address, please.
Paul Kearton, 216 North Line Street, Columbia City.
Okay. And you want to also put up a fence, it looks like?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I will tell you, I do have some concerns about yours, just to be
Right.
very candid with you. Line of sight is a major issue. You probably, I don't know how much of the background you know. A little bit?
Yes.
Okay, so, a couple years ago, we approved a fence there, as you well know. I'll probably go, again, I'm probably telling you stuff you already know. We approved a fence there. It was put, I think, closer than it was supposed to. It created line of sight issues on that corner, which created issues for our police department and others, okay?
Okay.
Now granted, it was a wrought iron fence, which is different than the chain link, I think, that you want to put in.
Yes.
So my concern is though, is you're what, 3 foot off the sidewalk is what you're wanting there?
Yeah,
And it looks like, is that 2 foot off of the sidewalk on Jackson Street?
Yep.
Okay. So I will tell you, one of my concerns is line of sight there at Jefferson Street. If you were back further, I probably wouldn't have as big of an issue with it because you're only 3 foot from the sidewalk. We're talking only about a, 7 or 8 foot clearance, I think, from the road itself. That gives me a little heart,
Right.
just to be honest with you. Dan, I know you've dealt with, we've not talked about this, but I don't know what your guys' feelings and stuff are.
Basically, even though it's a chain link, even though when you look to the side of it, it's not so opaque.
Right.
It is still dark. And we've had a number of complaints with the last one that was there with people line of sight. And for me, it's always a safety issue.
right.
Like I said, like the mayor said, I don't know if I have a problem if you back up off of that a ways. The last one we approved is only 3 feet off the property line. But you go 3 feet off your property line, that's pretty much right in front of your house.
Right.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some real issues with it being that close to the sidewalk. And it's nothing against you, it's just a line of sight thing, a safety issue.
Right.
That's my real concern with that. So, like I say, even though it's straight on, you can see through it, but not so much
Right.
when it's sideways.
Sideways, right.
Is, I guess my question for you is are you open or do you have any flexibility to move the fence closer to your house?
Yes, so I actually came up with a couple other ideas.
Okay.
So the first idea I had was about the same distance, but kind of cutting a corner off.
Okay,
Because I noticed down at the end of the street there on the other side, another house had done that. They had a little more room, so they were a little further away from the sidewalk also. But I thought about doing that and doing about 15 foot from the corner is about what I came up with.
so if I take the corner going 15 foot back from there and kind of creating a diagonal, is that what you're saying?
Yes. I wasn't sure if that would be a better option.
I was gonna say, do you have anything?
Yeah.
I mean, we'd love to see drawings if you have drawings.
So yeah, so I've actually got 2 of them.
Okay.
This one here.
Okay.
We use the same idea, you go with 3 foot and then 2 foot, and then about 15 foot.
Gotcha. Hey Gary, will you come up here and take a look while you're at it?
And then the other
Okay,
option I
what's
was
your other
thinking
option
is
here?
Take it back another coil, 'cause that would actually keep it a little further back and still use it. So I'm sure that would help with, because she had mentioned that the wrought iron had created a line.
My thing is, it's still awfully close when you're still sitting here to make your turn. Even though you that's a great idea, but we still have that line going across there. So if we could move that back, I know you moved it back a foot. And I guess I need to see it back farther than that myself. That's just my first thought.
I was kind of playing a little bit around with the map itself, or with the GIS, and just kind of figuring out where I think maybe line of sight, because again, to his point, you know, when you're sitting here and you're looking down, even though you have this, which is great, I think that's a great improvement. If you're here and you're looking down, you're just seeing fence after fence after fence, right? So that's, I guess my concern would be, I hate to say it this way, this area, right? And so, Gary, I don't know if you'd be able to kind of help a little bit with what you think from a line of sight perspective makes sense or doesn't make sense on this. So here's the old one, okay? So I went on Google Maps and this is what the old one looked like. And again, it was right up on there. And that was a really big, that was a bad deal. That was a bad deal. So we're trying to avoid that. Unfortunately, you're the beneficiary of that, trying to avoid that.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
How far is it from here to here?
Well, if this is 2 foot, let's say that's 2 foot.
Yes, maybe 7, 8 feet.
8 foot.
Then if you cut it back, well, because car will be right here.
Right.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, well, the other side.
Right. I guess that's
Maybe we
where.
can maybe like 20 feet?
And back, well, that way.
Well, it'd be more of the angle than it is going back, you see what I'm saying? So like, if you were able to cut it so that it, is that okay if I go on this?
Yeah.
If you were able to cut it like this,
Okay,
I think that would give us our line of sight.
okay, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because again, what we're looking at is this, right? We're looking to make sure that people can see
That's it.
this, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little concerning the 4 foot back. I'd rather see it. almost-
Even with that angle?
Yeah. And you're still gonna turn it, so look left, and you're still gonna look right into that, I think.
I personally think that gives plenty of room, because, I mean, this one is here, I'm right, it's playing on this, I can see it. If you cut that back there.
Yeah, I was trying to think of how far, well, so you have, where's your tree at roughly? It's hard to tell here.
So I think I would put it just on the other side of the tree if I
But I'm
could.
thinking if you go 6 foot away from the sidewalk, that should. But that
6
also
foot
cuts
back.
away from the front yard.
Well, yeah, but if we're, are you saying 6 foot with this cut?
Yes. That would give us plenty of room. 6 foot away from the sidewalk back. I think that would be,
And then with this cut or that cut?
With this cut or the, yeah,
I still like this.
that diagonal cut? Well, yeah,
I
okay.
like that one.
But you still think that this is gonna create issues with the,
If you get 4 foot down.
I'll be good for it. I think more would be
With that big of a.
with that big of a cut through the, I mean, only reason I'm thinking that is if I'm, again, if I'm this truck, right, if I'm here and I pulled up, my line of sight should be okay. I mean, you're talking about 2/3 of a block.
Okay.
Well,
That's coming back
I mean,
4 feet.
but that's, yeah, with the 4 foot back plus this angle, whatever that angle is. But again, you're the one that has to go to the planning commission. So I know that outside of your
Actually, we don't
responsibilities
have to
here.
go there.
Well, that's true, I'm sorry. What I mean is because we've had lots of conversation about fences recently, I know that your planning commission members are going to be extra critical of this. And so what I want to just make sure is
Well, I
again,
guess if we come back 4 foot and with that angle,
with that angle, do you think that would
I
be?
think that'd probably be sufficient.
So how do we, I guess my question would be, go ahead.
Might make it more symmetrical or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't want it to look bad for you.
Right, yeah.
No, we really don't. that's what I'm wondering is, does that mean you go to maybe this post? I get that.
One is site.
Well, okay, so I guess what I'm,
Even if they went 4 foot back, what's this one, 10 foot? 3?
Yeah.
So another foot back plus that angle.
yeah. So,
How do we
Well-
determine the footage of that angle, so we can have
Right.
it worded right?
well, here's what I guess I'm wondering is, and I don't want you to have to come back to another meeting, but I'm wondering if it would make sense before we move forward with this, if maybe we have it staked out. Which means all you would need to do is just take some stakes, show where the fence line's going to be, and then Gary can go up there, or one of our officers will go up there to really truly see line of sight. I think, Dan, you feel more comfortable, I feel more comfortable. If you're open to that, maybe what I would do you already have a fence builder in mind, or are you
No,
gonna do
I
it
was
yourself,
gonna
or?
do it
Okay,
myself.
okay, so if you could figure out a way to kind of stake that out, and then maybe Gary can set up a time to meet with you to say, here's a line of sight, or one of us, or something, and then we can say, okay, yes, this works, or maybe we'll have to do 5 foot or something.
Right.
Does that make sense? Please, do you see
Yeah.
what we're talking about? I don't
Yeah,
want to leave you out of this
absolutely.
conversation by any means.
No, I was down there looking.
Okay, okay. So if you would be open to
Yeah,
that,
I can definitely do that for you.
I would rather do that than to give you an outright no. You know what I mean? I'm sure you would rather have that too. So if that's okay, what I'd like to do is maybe just table this permit for one meeting. So the next meeting would be
June 10th.
June 10th. If,
Call me once you get staked out.
yes, so if Gary gives us the cool, Dan gives us the cool, we will not have to have you here, okay?
Sounds
The
good.
other thing I will tell you, I did talk to the building and planning department today, and I think one of the things they've asked us to do is just to ensure that we're on the clear from the old one, is that if we approve yours, that we rescind the other one, which I said, well, but doesn't that mean the old one's there? And he said, no, it doesn't really. It just, he wants for clarity's sake and for permitting sake. So I just want to tell you that there's going to be probably 2 pieces to that puzzle. Second one, you don't need to worry about.
Okay. All right.
I'm just being honest and transparent with you, okay? So, get it staked out, give Gary a call, we'll have him take a look at it. Gary, when you get that, let me and Dan and Lisa know, please, and then we'll go take a look at it ourselves. And, if you don't hear from us, you should be good to get, well, you'll hear from us one way or another. And we'll have to tell you the permit's approved or not approved, okay?
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sounds good to
Okay.
me.
Paul?
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Appreciate your time and appreciate your willingness to work with us on it. I think
No problem.
we can find a middle ground, I think,
Right, I
so.
think so too.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, have a good one.
Yes, have a good rest of the day.
Yep,
I'll make a motion that we table the request for 216 North Line Street until the next meeting.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion? All those in favor, show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Thank you for that. And then the 315 West Orchid Court has been pulled from the agenda, just so you're aware. So next up is the employment training agreement with Kirsten Onspaw. So this is the agreement, it's a 3-year agreement that we put in place with all of our new police officers to ensure that they stick with us after we train them. So with that, I'll make a motion that we approve the employment training agreement with Carson Onspaw as presented.
I'll second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Same thing goes for Cyrus German.
Carmen.
Garmin, I'm sorry, I say that wrong every time. Cyrus Garmin, my bad. Make a motion that we approve the employment training agreement with Cyrus Garmin as presented.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Thank you.
Mayor, so we don't have one for Scott Morris, just because he's had the academy in New Mexico. So all we have to do there is get a waiver signed by our training board,
Gotcha.
which, and then he has to do like a week or 2 of online for,
But the point is, we're not putting in years of training into him, which is why we don't have the training agreement. Yes,
and we don't have to send him to the academy or nothing like that. So
right, right. Thank you, Gary. Okay, now for the big discussion. What to do with trick or treating? So this year, or I'm sorry, let me back up. For many of the past years, we have historically had trick or treat for the city of Columbia City on a Saturday. The reason we have done that is because it has been the opinion of, I think, many of our residents, when we did a survey to kind of figure out what was best, and the survey is pretty clear about having it on Saturdays. Again, that's easier to do on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This year, 2025, trick or treat is on a Friday. It is, I'm sorry, let's try again. Halloween is on a Friday. October 31st is a Friday this year. And so historically, we have had trick-or-treating happening on a Saturday because it's easier for parents, it's easier for kids, so on and so forth. The challenge is this year is that with Halloween being on a Friday, that means that we really, if we were to stick with a Saturday, we'd have two choices. We either go October 25th, which seems really early, or November 1st, which we've turned the page from October into November, right? So I wanted to kind of get the discussion from both of you to kind of figure out what we want to do, and then I know it's a surprise, but a couple of people have already contacted me asking when Trick or Treat's going to be this year, and so I'm just trying to kind of get a handle on what we want to do and when we want to do it. There's pros and cons to doing it on Halloween because it is a Friday. You know, obviously, parents, kids, etc. sometimes are going to have to get home from work or school and get ready, get their costumes on, and get out the door. Football game. I don't know if is there a football game that night. Could be. I don't know if there's a football game or not. Gary, you know if there's a football game that night?
I don't know for sure.
Okay. It's possible, right? So you have that, right? Good news is, you know, with Saturday or with Friday, theoretically, you can sleep in the next morning, right? We, you know, historically, when we've had things on Saturday, then on the actual Halloween night, churches and nonprofits and others have also had Halloween things happening on actual Halloween, which sets our trick or treat kind of apart, gives more opportunity. So there's a lot of pros and cons to both of them. You know, the traditionalists in our community really wanted to remain on Halloween, but I think for practicality, we kept it on Saturday. So that's maybe the groundwork of where we are going to be. So, Tom, you have thoughts?
No, I
Questions?
just thinking that there is a third option to alleviate confusion, cancel it.
Just can't. We,
Oh, it's
We're
right
gonna
now.
beat
we will one time at Halloween, I was out of town and Dan had to be in charge, and he tried to cancel Halloween, and
Oh, boy.
Cancel it.
he did cancel it because we had bad weather, right?
Lovely phone calls.
Yes, I'm sure you got lots of nice phone calls on that. So, so with that being said, I want to open up to the discussion of what you know, this. It seems like not a big issue, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that plan around this, and so we want to be conscious of that and cognizant of lots of different people with lots of different lifestyles and lots of different work schedules and school schedules and stuff. So.
All right, well, my first thought is leave it on the 30th.
Wait, well, the 31st is a Friday.
Right.
Oh, say, so keep,
Yeah,
so put it
yeah,
on.
Do it on the Saturday, November 1st.
It doesn't feel as
And I
good,
think
does
the
it?
Saturday before is too far away from the actual
Right,
day.
25th,
So, in your reasoning,
yes,
you know, yes, the kids could then, and parents could sleep in the next day if they wanted to.
yes.
But I do see, there are organizations that have things in town. I don't know
Yeah.
how many still do, but I think Friday is probably our best option, than doing it on Halloween.
Good news is in 2026, it's Halloween falls on a Saturday,
Saturday.
so.
We won't be having this
Next year, we won't
conversation.
have as much of an issue, so.
Did
Mike,
anybody
do
find
you
the
have
football
something?
schedule?
No.
No, I think it's great, their idea.
Okay.
Halloween is Halloween.
Gary,
I don't have an opinion.
what about, but you haven't found a football game, we don't,
Yeah.
It looks like it could be sectionals, because the regular
Yeah, I don't
season
think-
ends on October 17th.
okay, so
it could be in
okay,
the sectionals.
okay.
That's what I was like, gonna say, Friday before, maybe, or that even,
Yeah,
31st, I don't think there's,
they could be open.
unless we make it that far.
Okay, so we're gonna break precedent. And I'm not opposed to it, by the way. I'm not opposed to it. I
Phone
think it's
number
just
out there
so
for-
much. So people can always contact my office at 260-248-5111. Okay, I will make a motion then that we hold trick or treat from 5 to 8 p.m. on October 31st, 2025.
I will second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Let it be known high, wide, and long that we are having trick or treat on Halloween this year.
And next
So
year.
you gonna be here?
And probably next year, but we haven't approved that. I will be here.
Oh,
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, let's move to bills.
Wait,
Okay, pay app.
Leslie, did you get my pay app?
Yeah, do you
Yeah.
want to pay app first then?
No, it's fine. I just was
It's the pay app on
nervous.
the bills. Hold on a second, everybody.
No, it was a separate one that I put in.
I know, but I'm sorry, is the
I already
check?
saw that one.
is the
No,
pay?
it's not. If it gets approved tonight, we'll cut the check tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, so we will do bills then.
Okay. I make a motion to pay all accounts payable in the amount of $209,964.77 from the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated 5/27/2025.
Second.
Thank you, I'm trying to find it, I apologize. I looked at them earlier, but I didn't see that number. Oh, there we go, okay, there we go. Motion second, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous.
I make a motion to pay all accounts payable in the amount of $934,647.87 from the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated 5/27/2025.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous.
I make a motion to pay all accounts payable except overtime in the amount of $292,437.93, plus overtime in the amount of $22,164.32, for a total of $314,602.25 for the pay file ending 5/16/2025.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous.
And I make a motion to pay all accounts payable in the amount of $3,028.50 from the allowance of account payable vouchers dated 5/27/2025 for meter deposits.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Thank you. Two more things before we go to department head reports here. First thing is in your Dropbox. It's pay app number 2 from Pulver. Pulver Asphalt Paving, and this is for the trail. Chip?
Correct. Yes, I'd like the approval of the Board of Works to approve a pay amount of $401,000, $658, or $401,000, $658.52. Sorry,
$401,658.50.
yeah, that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of
Sorry,
money,
we don't
yes.
deal in that.
Yes, yes. Engineers already signed off on this, so.
Yes.
So we're good to go on that. I'll make a motion, we approve the pay application number 2 with engineers project number 5251 in the amount of $401,658.52 as presented.
I'll second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. The other thing that's not on here, but it was in the minutes last week, or last time, was the retainer for the Eagle Park project. There was a mistake, we made a mistake, and actually the retainage of, what, 50,000? Yeah, it was retainage of 50,000. We accidentally released that retainage. There was no reason we couldn't, let me say it this way. There was no reason that we could keep that retainage. The engineer, based on the contract, everything else, the retainage had to be released. So we ended up doing it. It should have gone in front of the Board of Works. That was my fault. That it should have gone in front of the Board of Works. At the end of the day, I need retroactive approval for that. The check's already been sent out, so sorry about that. But again, there was no reason we could actually keep that retainer. It wasn't something that was on that we could have kept to see if there was issues. That actually goes back to the contractor, which is different than the subcontractor, Hunter. So, I'll make a motion, we approve the release of retainage retroactively in the amount of $50,000.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Thank you. I apologize. It won't happen again. Next up is department head reports. Chip?
So with that, to tag along with that, with it only being mainly concrete, it's very difficult to show if it was concrete default or skateboard, bike, whatever. And so that's why that came into the issue. The bridge was placed last week. It's different. It's Cortizan steel. It's pre-rusted, never have to be painted. It does not really rub off on your hand, but it's natural. The trail is still moving very quickly. They are pouring down right now down by the high school bus garage and working their way up to the dairy barn area, Spencer Street. Other than that, just plugging away a lot of loose ends right now.
Question of Chip. If you get concerns about the rust color, again, keep in mind that there is a historic nature to it, if you will. The other thing is I can almost promise you that when graduation pictures happen next year, there will be many pictures on that bridge done by graduates. So, people don't like the color of it, I'm sorry. Matt?
We didn't open the pool this weekend due to weather. The should be 70 degrees air temperature for us to open up. The bricks were laid down at Patriotic Park up there, so that was finished before Memorial Day. We'll put a new drinking fountain in at the splash pad so you can fill bottles from it. And the splash pad is now open, but it will not turn on unless the thermostat inside reads 65. So once that hits, then it'll turn on.
Between when and when?
Between 11 and 7, we've tried to make the time more consistent this year to where it's 11 to 7 every day of the week and on the weekends.
Thank you.
And then we're just getting ready for Old Settlers and 4th of July.
Questions of Matt? Thank you. Chip, how close are we to getting a water fountain at Eagle Park?
Just made a note. Very close. I have one sitting in my office.
Oh, really?
A different one.
I'm assuming you'll be
For
talking to Mr. Shoda here soon about that, maybe.
no, this is one that's going to go on the building.
Oh, on the building?
Yes.
Not at the skate park?
Not skate.
Okay,
Made a note for that too.
okay. Mike?
Been working up on North Park Drive with the new water main. I'd say we're maybe a quarter of the way done. We've got quite a few driveways to go under, and instead of tearing them up because of the cost of cement and asphalt, we're boring, and I think we'll come in cheaper that way. Thursday, we had it switch over at the chlorine room with the new pumps. Everything seems to be running well, and we did find that we had a transformer out on one of the pumps, not the pumps, but the starters, and they got it ordered, and then we should be pretty well
Great.
on that part of it.
Yeah.
We do have to change some components on the feed, so that we got a backup of that. Because right now they're set at 50 pounds each, and we're gonna replace them with 100 pounders, and then we'll be good shape.
Great. Questions of Mike? Thank you. Gary?
All right, Officer Sturgis has started his 4th week at the academy, so he's got 12 to go. He's looking forward to getting home. Officer Morris, Officer Anspaw, and Officer Garmin is their 2nd week of FTO. Seem to be doing well, which is good because usually you can tell right off the bat how people are fitting in and stuff. They seem to be fitting in well. So, Officer Clark has been chosen to be the next SRO to replace Officer Leatherman when he retires in June. Memorial Day and the Memorial Run went well this weekend, or I guess not weekend, yesterday. That went good, so no issues there. We've got to pack the cruiser next Saturday, May 31st from 10 to 2 at Kroger. We've done that several times and it always seems to be a big hit. So that usually benefits the food bank here, Impact on Van Buren. Lots of going on this summer with events and still trying to figure out what we're gonna do with the tornado siren motors at the 2 locations off Deploy and the FOP.
Gotcha. Question to Gary? Thank you. Mike?
We've got a few treated issues we're working on. We're going to be collecting some samples, working with our contract lab, trying to figure out what our problem is. I think we're getting close to figuring out what the issue is. I don't want to say until we know for sure. But pre-treatment and the other guys, they've been working pretty hard on that to figure out the issue. So proud of them on that. Had the other staff members clean the EQ basin, the contact tank. The only way to clean that is they hook up fire hose to the lines that we have there, actually go down to the tank and physically wash it out by hand. So they done that, and then they worked on the basin side too, washing that down, cleaning that up. We have been sludge hauling for most of the spring. I contacted them today and requested a plan B or plan C because obviously with the molybdenum being high, we can only haul so much. So basically we're just spinning wheels and not really getting anywhere. And that's why I told us I can't keep throwing money at it and not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
So we got a meeting set up. They're gonna come on site Thursday and look at maybe placing a thickener or belt press on site to where they would thicken it right there, go right into a dumpster and then to a landfill, which we should be able to do anywhere from probably 30 to 40,000 gallons a day. So we'll move a lot more that way. We might have a little more expense in it, but I can't get repaired what I need repaired if I can't get the level down. So we're just trying a different option. I'm just trying everything we can to get
Well,
this
you
taken care
have
of.
Sludge Island in the middle of that tank, don't you?
Yeah, there is one, I'm sure, once we get it down.
You gotta get it down to see it though first.
Yeah, and I need to get that level down so when the digester goes out of operation, I can take one aeration out, use that as a digester, and then be able to transfer from there out to there. And so I have to make some room for that.
Yeah.
So, our day-to-day, that's, we're not gonna have a whole lot of projects because I've got the major expensive project coming up in a few months, so we're just kind of holding off on some things until we get through that. So, unless you have questions, that's all I got.
Questions, Mike? Thank you. Tom?
3 new guys have been assigned their shifts. They did a 2-week, like mini academy through, because they come in dust, they have to have all of their certifications. But they have not learned our department. So we put them through like a 2-week mini academy, 40 hours a week for the first 2 weeks. And they got through most of their books, their field training. They're still now with their assigned shifts, going to finish those up. I'm sure you'll be surprised to know that 101 is currently out of service. Again, a pressure sensor. They put all these electronics on these things that weren't there 30 years ago, and well, they fail. So pressure sensor, we got one on order. As soon as it gets here, I'm pretty sure Arms will come up, put it on, test it, make sure everything's good, and should get it back in place. One of our rescue pumps went out of service. We had a loaner for a while, but Mike was telling me right before this meeting that we got that taken care of. One of our attic ladders failed during some training, so we got parts in order to fix that. And ladder testing is scheduled for June 16th and 17th. If you want to see ladders put through a gamut and then you're told that they're safe to climb again, it's scary. They take our ladders and they bend the crap out of them and then say, oh yeah, they're good. And that's it.
Questions of Tom? Marcia? Leslie?
I have nothing.
Couple of other department head reports. Terry said that they're waiting on equipment for the former jail and at Eagle Park, but they do have wiring inside the building at Eagle Park that's complete. So that was his report. Kelly said that Brooks Construction has started working on ADA ramps. Obviously, you've seen a lot of those ramps that have now been removed, and they're actually supposed to start forming those this week. They may have started today. Concrete crew poured new sidewalk and ADA ramps at the corner of Whispering Trail and Eagle Glen Trail this past week, and then did dirt, seed, and straw behind the walk and the ramps there. And they're also working on 2 ADA ramps along Eagle Glen Trail close to the clubhouse. They are grading alleys soon, so we will get ready for alley dust control spraying. So we do have a company come in and spray the alleys for dust control purposes. So that's that. Let's see. Did I get one? Let's see real quick here. There we go. So Sean says his department, they're still changing poles that failed inspection last summer. They have changed nearly 90 poles so far this spring. They sent a purchase order to Osmos for testing the remaining 1,637 utility untested poles from last summer. Their new employee begins on June 2nd, and they work today to get fiber to the former jail from City Hall, and hoping to get splicing done this week as well. They did have a squirrel outage this weekend that put 81 customers in the outage just over 2.5 hours to get power restored. There we go. We'll get the word out. So, besides that, obviously had a great Memorial Day yesterday, but a Memorial Day parade. A lot of people came out. Beautiful, perfect weather to honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. So appreciate the community coming out and always supporting that. We have a lot of budget meetings this week, happening this week and next week. I believe Thursday we are going to be, for the first time, passing out mailboxes like we do to the high school, to the CCHS grads. We're going to be passing them out to the Troy School grads this year. So we're going to be doing that on Thursday. Gary and I have a meeting with an HOA regarding solicitors this week, which will be lots of fun. And let's see if there's anything else I need to tell you about. I think that's generally it. Oh, one more thing. We did have a meeting today. We have our comprehensive plan steering committee meeting tomorrow. But our comprehensive plan, our planners, the company we've hired, the consultants, they're going to be at First Friday on Friday the 6th to do little charrettes and things like that with citizens and kids to just kind of help them get their input and to take a lot of information, also figure out where they would put resources, things like that. So I think that's all I have for now. Dan. Lisa. Anybody from the audience? Okay. We have no press, so we will call the meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.